Why, oh, why did the soul climb from the utmost high to the lowest depth? The seed of redemption is contained within the fall.
Why did the soul climb from the utmost
An ancient wooden synagogue in Brinitz. The walls blackened with age. It is evening.
is contained within the fall.
The seed of
Redemption is contained within the fall.
Reb Dovidel of Talna, may his merits protect us, had a golden chair which was carved, David, King of Israel, lives forever.
Reb Yisrael of Rizhin, of blessed memory, he lived like a monarch. An orchestra of 24 musicians played at his table, and when he traveled, his carriage never had less than 6 horses.
And they say that Reb Shmuel of Kaminka wore golden slippers. Golden slippers?
The holy Reb Zusha of Anipol was poor all his life. He wore a peasant's blouse tied with a rope around his waist and had to beg for alms. Yet his good deeds were no less worthy than those of the Rebbe of Talna or the Rebbe of Rizhin.
Please don't take offense at what I say, but you don't even know what we're talking about, and yet you intrude. When we speak about the greatness of the Talna Rebbe or the Ritzina Rebbe, do you suppose that we refer to their wealth? Rich men are nothing special. The world is filled with them, but you must understand that the golden chair and the orchestra and the golden slippers are profoundly significant vehicles. They contain the deepest secrets.
That's obvious. Who can't see that for himself?
Those who have their eyes open see it. It's said that when the Rebbe of Apt met the Rebbe of Rizhin for the first time, he threw himself on the ground and kissed the wheels of his carriage. And when he was asked why, he shouted, "Fools, don't you see that this is the holy chariot of the Lord?"
Ah,
The point is that the golden chair was not a chair, the orchestra was not an orchestra, and the horses were not really horses. They were all shadows and reflections which served as garments, cases to enclose their greatness.
True greatness requires no adornment.
No, you are mistaken. True greatness must be suitably bedecked.
Their greatness and might are beyond measure.
Their power was very great. Do you know the story of Reb Shmelka of Nikolsburg and his whip? Listen, it's worth a hearing. Once, a poor man had a dispute with a certain rich man whom everyone feared because of his close connections with the court. Reb Shmelka was asked to settle the case, and after hearing both sides, he ruled in favor of the poor man. Offended, the rich man declared that he would not abide by the judgment. Reb Shmelka spoke to him calmly. You will honor the judgment. When a rabbi gives an order, the order must be obeyed. This made the rich man angry, and he began to shout, "I don't give a fig for you or your rabbinical judgments." Reb Shmelka, he pulled himself up to his full height, and he thundered back, "You will carry out the order immediately. If you do not, I will use the whip." At this, the rich man lost all control, and in a frenzy, he screamed insults and curses at the rabbi. And without another word, Reb Shmelka opened the drawer of his desk, and out jumped the primordial serpent, who immediately wrapped himself around the rich man's neck. And what an uproar there was. The rich man shrieked, and he cried for mercy. "Help, Rebbe, forgive me. I will do everything you say. Only take away the snake." To which Reb Shmelka answered, "You must admonish your children and your children's children to obey the Rebbe and to fear his whip." And then he removed the snake from the rich man's neck.
That was quite a whip.
Well, you must be wrong. It couldn't possibly have been the primordial serpent.
What are you saying? Why not?
It's very simple. Reb Shmelki of Nikolsburg would never have invoked the primordial serpent. It's the evil one. It's Satan himself. It's may merciful God preserve us.
You can be sure that Reb Shmelka knew what he was doing.
I don't understand you. I tell you about an event which occurred in a public place, which was witnessed by scores of people, and yet you claim that the incident could not possibly have happened. Do you think it's all idle talk?
No, not at all. But I don't believe that incantations and Kabbalistic letter combinations can call up the evil one.
The devil can be summoned only by uttering the mighty double name of God, whose flame dissolves the highest mountain crests and melts them into the deepest valleys.
But what about the danger in using the holy name?
The danger is that the vessel might shatter because of the great intensity of the sparks longing for the flame.
There is a wonder worker in my shtetl who can perform the most astounding miracles. He can start a fire with one spell and make it vanish with another. He can see at a distance of 100 miles. He can draw wine from the wall with his bare fingers. He once confided to me that he knows the spells for making a golem, for bringing back the dead, for making himself invisible, for calling up evil spirits, even the devil. I have it from his very own lips.
Where is he?
Who?
The wonder worker.
Where would he be? In my shtetl, of course, if he's still alive.
Is it far from here?
The shtetl, yes. Very far, long distance away, deep in Polesia.
How long would it take to walk there?
To walk? A good month, perhaps more. Why do you ask? Do you want to go to him? The shtetl is called Krasna. The wonder worker is Reb Elchanan.
Elchanan? Elchanan? The god of Chanan.
I tell you, he is an incomparable miracle worker. One day, in broad daylight, he attempted...
Oh, right, enough of this kind of talk at night. And it's a holy place, too. We might unintentionally utter a spell or an incantation which could bring about a catastrophe, God forbid. Such things have happened. May merciful God preserve us.
Who is that young man?
A yeshiva student.
He's a first-rate scholar. He's a genius.
A brilliant mind. He knows 500 pages of Talmud by heart.
Where does he come from?
Somewhere in Lithuania. He was the outstanding student at the yeshiva and was granted rabbinical ordination. And then, without any warning, he disappeared. For an entire year, no one knew where he was. Some said he'd gone to perform the penance of exile, to afflict his body in order to shorten our exile from the Holy Land. But he returned a changed person. He's lost in his own thoughts. He fasts from one Sabbath to the other. He performs endless ablutions. They say he studies Kabbalah.
In the town, they say the same thing. They even started to ask him for charms, but he refuses.
No one knows who he is. You can never tell. He might even be one of the great ones. But it would be dangerous to watch him too closely.
Right, it's late. Time to go to sleep. What a pity that your wonder worker who draws wine from the bare walls isn't here. You know, I'd give anything for a drink right now. And I haven't had a bite of food all day.
For me, it's more or less a fast day too. I only had a single occasion to recite the prayers for blessing on food today, and that was early this morning when I had just had a bite to eat after prayers.
Well, just have a little patience, so I think we will soon be toasting each other with good brandy. Sender's gone to arrange a match for his only daughter, and if he signs the wedding agreement, he will surely provide us with the best.
I don't believe he will ever make up his mind. He has met with prospective bridegrooms 3 times already and always returned empty-handed. Either the young man doesn't appeal to him, or the family background isn't good enough, or the marriage dowry is too small. It's wrong to be so demanding.
Yeah, Sender has a right to be choosy. He's a rich man. He comes from a good family, and his only daughter is beautiful and clever. May no evil eye harm them.
I'm very fond of Sender. He is a good Hasid, and he has the soul of the Miropolia Hasidim.
I am not denying that he is a good Hasid, but he could have arranged for his only daughter's marriage in a better way.
What do you mean?
In the old days, when a rich person from a good family sought a suitable match for a daughter, the financial situation and social status of the parents were far less important than the young man himself. It was the groom's qualities alone that interested him. He would go to one of the famous yeshivas, give the principal a sizable donation, and leave it up to him to choose the best of the scholars who studied with him. Sender could have done the same.
He might even have found a suitable bridegroom here in this yeshiva.
What makes you think so?
I'm only speculating.
Well, let's not gossip, especially about one of our own. Matches are made in heaven.
Oh, woe is me! God of the universe, help me! Dearest children, let us open the holy ark and embrace the Torah scrolls until our tears work a cure in your mother. God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, behold my affliction. Look upon the sorrow of these little children, and do not take their mother from them. Holy scrolls of the Torah, plead for the wretched widow. Blessed fathers, dear mothers, run to God and pray for mercy. Beg him to keep the tender sapling from being uprooted, the fledgling bird from being cast from her nest, the gentle lamb from being separated from the flock. I will leave no stone unturned. I will split the very heavens. I will not move from this spot until you give me back my precious jewel.
Hannah, Esther, shall I gather 10 men for a minyan to recite psalms?
Yes, of course, gather a minyan to recite psalms, but hurry, hurry. Every minute is precious. For 2 days now, the poor girl has been lying speechless, struggling with death.
I'm off to get 10 men this minute. But they ought to be paid for their trouble, because they're very poor.
Here is Gildan. Make sure that they do everything they're supposed to.
A gilden? Well, that makes only 3 groschen for each man. It's not much.
Come, children, let's go to the other synagogues.
This morning, a woman opened the Holy Ark and prayed for her daughter, who has been in labor for 2 days and has still not given birth. Now, a woman opened the Holy Ark to pray for her daughter, who has been wrestling with death for 2 days.
So, what are you getting at?
When the soul of a person who has not yet died is destined to enter the body of a person who has not yet been born, a struggle takes place. If the sick person dies, the child will come into the world alive. If the sick person recovers, the child will be born dead.
Man is so blind that he doesn't even see what's happening right next to him.
Well, God has provided us with drinks. So we'll recite psalms, toast l'chaim afterward, and God in his mercy will restore the sick woman to health.
Gentlemen, who is ready to recite psalms? There's a cake for everyone after you've finished. We'll go into the small room.
The Holy Ark is open. Who opened it? For whom was it opened in the middle of the night? The Torah scrolls lean against each other in silence. They contain all the secrets and illusions, all the possible combinations of words from the 6 days of creation to the end of the generations of man. And how difficult it is to learn those secrets and illusions, how very difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 scrolls. They add up to the numerical value of emes, truth. And each scroll has 4 wooden handles that we call the trees of life. Again, 36. Not an hour goes by I don't come across that number. I don't know what it means, but I feel it contains the essence of the matter, the truth that I seek. 36 is a numerical value of the letters in Leah's name. Chonon adds up to 3 times 36. But Leah also spells not God. Not through God. Oh, what a terrible thought. Yet how it draws me.
Come on. You walk about as if you were asleep.
Mysteries. Illusions without end. Yet I see no straight path before me. The shtetl is Krasner. The wonder worker, Reb Elchanan.
What did you say?
Nothing. I was thinking out loud.
You have plunged too deeply into Kabbalah, Conan. Not once have you studied the sacred text with us since your return.
Not studied the sacred text. Which texts?
What kind of a question is that? Talmud, the commentaries. You know yourself which texts.
Talmud? The commentaries? Not studied? The Talmud is cold and dry. The commentaries are cold and dry. Beneath this world, there is another world exactly like ours. It has fields and forests, seas and deserts, towns and villages. Stormy winds blow through the fields and deserts. Great ships sail the seas. Fear haunts the dense forests, and there is thunder. Only one thing is missing. A heaven, about from which lightning can flash and from which the sun can blaze. Talmud is like that. It is profound. It is sublime, but it shackles you to the earth. It keeps you from soaring to the heights, but Kabbalah? Kabbalah tears the soul from its earthly bonds. It leads man to the highest spheres and opens up the heavens so he can see inside. It leads straight to paradise. It calls you to the infinite. It opens up a corner of the great curtain. My strength. It's failing.
It's true, it's all true, but you are ignoring the danger in these ecstatic flights, the possibility of losing one's grip and falling into the abyss. Talmud lifts the soul, but it does so gradually, in degrees. It guards man like a faithful watchman who never slumbers or sleeps. It embraces man like a shield and keeps him from straying off the straight and narrow path. But Kabbalah? Do you remember what the Talmud says? 4 entered paradise. Ben Azai, Ben Zoma, Acher, and Rabbi Akiba. Ben Azai looked around and died. Benzoma looked around and lost his reason. Acher cut down the plants and lost his faith. Rabbi Akiba alone entered in peace and departed in peace.
Don't try to frighten me what happened to them. We don't know how or why they went to paradise. Maybe they stumbled because they went to observe, not to be purified. And others have entered after them. The holy Ari, the holy Baal Shem Tov, they did not stumble.
Are you comparing yourself to them?
I make no comparisons. I go my own way.
And what is your way?
You wouldn't understand.
I would understand. My soul, too, is drawn to the upper regions.
It is the function of the righteous Tzaddik to purify man's soul, to rip away its sinful sheath and restore it to its original perfection. Now, this is a difficult task because sin crouches at the door. As soon as one soul is purified, another soul with even deeper sin takes its place. And no sooner is one generation moved to repent that another, more stiff-necked than the last, appears. And the generations grow weaker and weaker, and their sins more monstrous. And the righteous Tzaddikim are scarcer and scarcer.
So what should be done?
We need not wage war against sin. We need only to purify it. Just as a goldsmith refines gold in a flame, or a farmer threshes chaff from the wheat, we must cleanse sin of all its dross until nothing but holiness remains.
Holiness in sin. Where did you get such an idea?
Everything in God's creation contains a spark of holiness.
God did not create sin. That was the work of Satan.
And who created Satan? It was God. Satan is the opposite of God. And, as one of his aspects, he contains a holy spark.
Holiness in Satan. I don't understand it. I can't believe it. Let me think.
Which sin is the most powerful? Which sin is hardest to conquer? The sin of lust for a woman, right?
Yes.
But if this sin is purified in the heat of a strong flame, this vilest uncleanness is transformed into the greatest holiness, to the Song of Songs. The Song of Songs. Shir Hashirim Asher Shlomo. Behold, thou art fair, my beloved. Behold, thou art fair. Thy eyes are doves looking out from under thy brows. Thy hair is like a flock of goats scampering down Mount Gilead. Thy teeth are like a flock of sheep freshly bathed, in which there is none missing. All are twinned.
Oh, look who's here. It's Reb Sender's daughter, Leah.
Don't you remember that you promised to show me the old embroidered ark hangings?
Show them to her, Maacah. Show her the oldest and most beautiful hangings. Leila has promised to embroider one for her mother's Yotzat. She will use gold thread to work little lions and eagles into the costliest velvet, just as they used to do in the old days. And when the hanging is fixed in front of the Holy Ark, her mother's pious soul will rejoice in paradise.
With the greatest pleasure, of course, absolutely. Right, I'm going to go this very moment and bring you the oldest and most beautiful hangings.
Layla, aren't you afraid to be here at night?
I've never been in a synagogue at night, except on Simchas Torah, when everything is lit up and festive in celebration of the end of the Torah cycle and the beginning of the new one. But how sad it is. How very sad.
My dear girls, the synagogue is always sad because the dead come to pray at midnight.
Grandma, please
and
don't
leave their sorrows behind.
talk about the dead. I'm scared.
And every morning, when the Almighty weeps for the destruction of the temple, his holy teardrops fall into the synagogue. That is why the walls of old synagogues are always damp.
How very old the synagogue is. It didn't seem so old from the outside.
Yes, my daughter, it is very old. They say that it was found completely intact under the ground. How many times has this town been razed? How often has it been burnt to the ground? And yet the synagogue always survived. Only once the roof caught fire, and hundreds of doves flew by and beat their wings until they extinguished the flames.
How sad it is here, yet how filled with love. I don't want to leave. I want to throw myself against these tear-stained walls and embrace them. I want to ask them why they are so sad, so silent, so gloomy. I don't know what I want. I only know that my heart aches with pity.
This one's the oldest. It's over 200 years old. We only hang it up on Passover.
Oh, look, Layla. Isn't it magnificent? 2 lions embroidered in gold thread on thick brown velvet cloth, holding a Star of David between them, the 2 trees with doves in the branches standing on either side. These days, you can't even get this kind of thread, and such heavy velvet.
Even the curtain is filled with sadness and tenderness.
Look over there, Layla. A young man is staring at you. See how strangely he fixes his gaze on you.
He is a yeshiva student, Honan. He used to eat at our house.
His eyes look at you as if he were beckoning you toward him. He probably wants to come closer but doesn't dare.
I wonder why he's so pale and drawn. He must have been ill.
He isn't really sad. See, his eyes are bright.
His eyes always sparkle. They are so brilliant. And he becomes quite breathless when we talk. So do I. After all, it's not proper for a young woman to speak to a young man.
May we kiss the Torah scrolls, Me'ake? How can we pay visit as God's guest without kissing the Holy Torah?
Of course. You kiss the Torah. Of course, come.
Good evening, Hon. You're back.
Yes.
Come to kiss the Torah scrolls. Layla. Oh, enough, my child, enough. A brief kiss is all one may give the scroll. Torah scrolls are written in black fire on white fire. Oh, it's late. It's very late. Come, girls, come home quickly.
Thy lips are like a scarlet thread. Thy lips are comely. Thy temples are like pomegranates beneath thy veil.
Come on. What are you singing? Your earlocks are wet. Have you been to the ritual bath again?
Yes.
During your ablutions, do you recite incantations? Do you follow the rituals prescribed in the book of Raziel?
Yes.
And are you not afraid?
No.
And you fast from one Sabbath to the next. Don't you find it difficult?
It is harder for me to eat on the Sabbath than to fast all week. I have lost all desire for food.
Why are you doing all this? What do you hope to gain?
I want to seize a clear and brilliant diamond, to dissolve it in tears and to draw it to my soul. I want to seize the rays of the third temple, the third divine emanation. I want... Yes. Yes. There are still 2 barrels of gold coins, which I must get for the one who can only count gold coins.
Are you saying, Conan, please be careful. You are on a dangerous course. What you long for cannot be acquired by holy means.
And what if not by holy means? What if not by holy means?
I'm afraid to listen to you. I'm afraid to be near you.
I've recited 18 psalms, the number signifying life. That's quite enough. We can't be expected to recite the entire book of Psalms for a single gulden. But there's no use talking to the others. Once they get started, they don't stop.
I've just met Baruch the tailor. He happened to be in Klimkova while Sender was negotiating the terms of his daughter's marriage contract, and he heard that he didn't come to an agreement with the prospective groom's parents. Sender demanded 10 years support for the young couple, and they say he only offered 5, so they went their separate ways.
It's the 4th time such a thing's happened to him.
Bad luck.
You said yourself marriages are made in heaven.
Once again, the victory is mine!
It's time for me to go.
Well, what's your hurry?
What, you know that I'm a messenger. I bring important messages and rare treasures from one nobleman to another, so I must be off. My time is not my own.
Well, why don't you stay, at least until daybreak?
It's a long way to daybreak, and I have far to go. I'll leave at midnight.
It's pitch black outside.
I won't get lost. I have a lantern.
Mazel tov. May God grant the sick woman a speedy recovery.
Please,
God.
Amen.
Now, we should buy some brandy and cake for the gilden.
It's all taken care of. Right, let's go into the vestibule and drink l'chaim. Oh, Reb Sender! Welcome back.
Well, I happened to be riding past the synagogue, so I decided to drop in, see how you're all doing. I expected to see everyone deep in study or discussing a problem in the Talmud, and what do I find? The whole group about to drink a toast in the honor of some occasion or other, eh? What's this typical Mirapolia Hasidim?
Will you have a drop with us, Reb Sender?
You fool! I will provide the drinks myself, and good liquor too. Wish me mazel tov. My daughter is betrothed!
Mazel tov!
Please, God!
We heard that you couldn't come to terms with the groom's father, and then the match was off.
We were so sorry to hear it.
The match was very nearly off, but at the last moment, the groom's father agreed, and we signed the betrothal papers.
Betrothal. Betrothal? What happened? How was this possible? So, they didn't help? Not the fasts, not the ablutions, not the mortifications of flesh, not the Kabbalistic spells? It was all for nothing. What now? What is now to be done? great twice proclaimed name is revealed to me. I see it. I have won.
The fire has gone out. I must relight the lamp.
Mayor, why is it so dark in here? Why don't you light the candles?
You came to terms with the groom's father?
Yes.
It has been known to happen that parents make promises and fail to honor them. Often it's even necessary to go to a rabbinical court for judgment. One must be very careful.
Who is this man? I don't know him.
He's a stranger, a messenger.
So what does he want from me?
I don't know.
Gittel, run over to my house. Tell them to prepare a spread. Liquor, preserves, other good things. Go quickly. We'll wait here and we'll talk while they set the table. Anyone heard any news of the Rebbe? Story? A miraculous event? Every gesture of his is more precious than pearls.
Put away the bottle. It may come in useful tomorrow.
Let me tell you a parable of the Rebbe's. Once a rich but stingy chassid visited the Rebbe. Taking him by the hand, the Rebbe led him to the window and asked him to describe what he saw through the pane. I see people in the street, the chassid said. Then the Rebbe took his hand again and led him to a mirror. Now what do you see? I see myself, the chassid answered. Do you understand? Both the window and the mirror are made of glass, but as soon as you cover the glass with a small amount of silver, you no longer see others, but only yourself.
Sweeter than honey.
Holy words.
What? You trying to provoke me?
God forbid.
Let's sing a joyful song. Would you go sing the Rebbe's special melody?
Let's dance. Everyone join in. You don't think that Sender will marry off his only daughter without dancing and rejoicing? What kind of Mirapolia Chassidim are we? And now, a lively dance. Everyone join.
Gentlemen, all of you, come here. Chanek, Chonon.
Chonon, my Chonon, he should be here. Where is he? Bring him to me.
Oh, he's sleeping over there.
Wake him up, wake him up.
He won't wake up.
He's dead.
Look, the book of Raziel has fallen from his hand.
He has been damaged beyond repair.
A square in Brinitz 3 months later, the wedding day. An old wooden synagogue in the ancient architectural style. In front of the synagogue, a mound of earth with a gravestone bearing an inscription. Beyond the synagogue, a lane with a few small houses. Sender's house, large, wooden, with a porch. The gates to the courtyard are wide open, and long tables extend from the yard into the square. It is evening.
You have a splendid synagogue, beautiful and large. God's Spirit is upon it. It must be very old.
Yes, it is. The old people say that even their grandparents couldn't remember when it was built.
And what is this? Here lie the holy and pure bride of groom who were martyred for their faith in the year 5408. A martyred bride and groom.
When that enemy of the Jews, Khmelnytsky, may his name be blotted out, came to our town with his Cossacks and slaughtered half the Jews, he killed a bride and groom, just as they were being led to the wedding canopy. They were buried in one grave, on the very spot on which they were murdered. And their grave has been called the Holy Grave ever since. Each time the rabbi performs a wedding ceremony, he hears sighs coming from the grave. In order to bring comfort and cheer to the buried bride and groom, it has long been a custom in our town to dance around the grave after every wedding.
An excellent custom.
What a feast! Right, never in all my days have I seen a meal like this for the poor.
It's no wonder.
Everyone got a portion of fish, slice of roasted meat, and a simmus sweetened carrots. And before the feast, they served brandy and cakes. It must have cost a fortune. I can't even imagine the sum. But leave it to Sender, because he knows what he's doing. If one isn't too generous to an invited guest, there's no great harm in it. At the worst, he'll grumble and he'll pout. But if one fails to do one's duty by the poor, the danger is very great indeed. So who knows? The person in rags may really be poor, or be someone else entirely. A holy man, or even one of the 36 righteous for whom the world is preserved, perhaps even Elijah the prophet. He always comes disguised as a pauper.
It is not just the poor who must be treated with care. You never know who anyone is, or who he was in a previous life, or what brought him back into the world.
Oh, peace be with you. You've returned to us.
I've been sent back.
You've come at a good time, just in time for a rich man's wedding.
Everyone in the area is talking about it.
Did you by any chance see the groom's family on the road? Because they're late.
The groom will come in good time.
I danced with the bride.
So did I. I took her around and danced with her.
Why is the bride only dancing with women? I'd like a chance to hold her too and swing her around.
Oh my. Is Layla still dancing with the poor folks? She's sure to get dizzy. Girls, bring her here.
You've danced enough for now, Layla. Come.
Your poor head must be spinning.
She hasn't danced with me yet.
Am I not as good as the others? I've been waiting a whole hour for her to dance with me.
Now it's my turn. I'm supposed to dance with her after Alka finishes.
She danced about 10 times with that crippled Yankee, and not once with me. I don't have any luck.
Reb Sender invites you to come, one and all, and bids you to wait at the granary wall, where he will distribute to everyone there a 10-groschen coin. So be of good cheer. 10 groschen.
10 groschen.
I don't want the gift. I only want you to dance with me. Spin me around just once. I haven't danced for 40 years. But oh, how I danced. When I was young, how I danced. More.
You're as white as a sheet, Layla. Are you tired?
They held me. They surrounded me. They pressed themselves against me and pushed their cold, dry fingers into my flesh. My head was spinning. I grew faint. And then someone lifted me high into the air and carried me away. Far, far away.
Layla, see how they've soiled and wrinkled your dress? What will you do now?
If you leave the bride alone before the wedding, evil spirits come and take her away.
What kind of talk is that, Layla? You must never mention the demons by name. They are everywhere around us. They hide in every hole. They lurk in every corner, watching and listening for someone to let slip one of their evil names. Then they leap out and throw themselves on the person.
They are not evil.
You must not believe that. If you believe that of one of the evil ones, he becomes spiteful and begins to do his tricks.
Grandma, we are not surrounded by evil spirits, but by the souls of people who have died before their time. It is they who watch every move we make and listen to everything we say.
God help you, child. What are you talking about? Souls? What souls? Pure, undefiled souls fly up to heaven and find their eternal rest in paradise.
No, Grandma. They are here with us. A person is born to live a long life. But what if he dies before his time? What happens to his unlived life, his joys and his sorrows? The ideas he did not have time to develop, the deeds he had no chance to do. What happens to his children who were to have been born to him? Where are they? Where? Once there was a young man with a lofty soul and a profound intelligence. A long life lay before him. And then in an instant, his life was just cut down. Strangers came to bury him in foreign soil. What happened to his unlived life, his unspoken words, his unuttered prayers? Grandma, Grandma, when the flame of a candle is snuffed out, you can relight it and it burns to the end. So how can the uncompleted life of a person just be stamped out forever?
How can it? It is forbidden to think these thoughts, my child. God, in his wisdom, shapes the course of things. We are blind and know nothing.
No, Grandma. Grandma, a human life cannot be lost. When a person dies before his time, his soul returns to complete the span of life which he was given on earth, to finish the work he began, to feel the joys and sorrows that he did not live to know. Grandma, you told me that at midnight, dead souls pray in the synagogue. They come to say the prayers that they could not recite in their lives. My mother died young before she could fulfill her destiny. I will go to the cemetery today and ask her to lead me in the bridal canopy together with my father, and she will come. And afterwards, she will dance with me. So it is with all souls who were taken from this world before their time. They are with us, but we don't see them or feel their presence. Grandma, if one concentrates very hard, it is possible to see them and hear their voices and even know their thoughts. I know. I have known this holy grave of the bride and groom who are buried here since I was a child. Awake and asleep, I have often felt them with me. They are as close to me as my own flesh and blood. A young and handsome couple on their way to the bridal canopy, looking forward to a long and beautiful life together. And in a flash, all was over. Evil people with axes hacked the bride and groom to death. They were buried in one grave so that they would be together for all eternity. And at every wedding, as we dance around their grave, they join in the festivities. Beloved bride and groom, I invite you to my wedding. Come and stand beside me under the canopy.
Ah! What frightened you so? The groom has just arrived, and they're greeting him with music at the entrance of the town.
I'm going out there to get a look at him.
I want to go too. Then I'll come back and tell you what he looks like. Do you mind?
No. Oh, she's embarrassed. Don't be ashamed, little fool. We won't tell a soul.
The bride always asks her friends to steal out, catch a glimpse of the groom, then they tell her what he looks like, whether he's dark or fair.
Bride,
What do you want?
the souls of the dead do return to the world, but not as disembodied spirits. There are souls which must go through several incarnations before they're finally purified. Sinful souls return to earth in animals, in birds, in fish, and even at times in plants. They cannot achieve purification through their own efforts, but must wait for a Zaddik, a holy man, to free them and make them pure. And then there are souls who enter the body of a newborn child and purify themselves through their own deeds and...
Don't stop. Please, go on.
There are also souls who belong nowhere, who find no peace anywhere. They take possession of another person's body in the form of a Dybbuk. And in this way, they achieve their purification.
Why are you sitting here, my daughter?
She was entertaining the poor people whom you invited to the special feast. She's danced with them so much that now she has to rest.
Yes, bringing cheer to the poor is a good and pious deed. It's late. Groom and his parents have arrived. You ready?
She still has to go to the holy ground.
Go, my child. You go to your mother's grave. You cry your heart out there and invite your mother to your wedding. Tell her that I want her to be by my side when we lead our only daughter to the wedding canopy. You tell her that I have kept all my promises to her, fulfilled all her dying wishes. My life has been entirely devoted to you. I brought you up to be a good and virtuous Jewish woman. And now I give you in marriage to a fine scholar and a God-fearing man from a fine family.
Grandma, when we are in the cemetery, may I invite others besides my mother?
Only close relatives. You should invite your grandfather, Reb Ephraim, and your Aunt Mirila.
I want to invite someone who is not related to me.
You may not do that, my child. If you invite a stranger, you might insult the others and they may harm you.
He isn't really a stranger. He was like a member of the family when he was at our house.
Oh, my child, I'm afraid. They say he died a terrible death. Oh, don't cry. You can invite him, only don't cry. I will take the sin on myself. But I have no idea where his grave is, and it's not right to ask.
I know where it is.
How do you know?
I saw his grave in a dream. And I saw him too. He told me all about himself and he asked me to invite him to the wedding.
We saw him! We saw him!
Who did you see?
The bridegroom. He's dark. He has black hair.
No, not so. He's fair.
Let's go take another look at him.
Grandma, come to the cemetery.
I'm coming, my child.
You've arrived. Peace be with you. Welcome. How was your trip, Reb Nachum?
We had a difficult and unpleasant journey. First we left the road and were lost in the fields for a long time. Then we strayed into a swamp, which nearly swallowed us alive, and we almost didn't make it out of there. I began to think that the evil ones, may heaven protect us, caused these accidents in order to keep us from reaching our destination. But thank God, as you see, we got here in time.
Well, you're probably exhausted by your journey and you want to rest a while.
No, there's no time for that now. We've still got a lot to discuss about our respective commitments. The transfer of the dowry, gifts, wedding fees, and the rest.
Of course.
Remember, at the table, you must remain seated throughout the meal with your eyes lowered. After the wedding supper, when the Master of Ceremonies announces the bridegroom will now deliver a Talmudic discourse, you're to get up quickly, stand on the bench, and give your talk in the proper chant and loudly. The louder the better. But don't be bashful, do you hear?
I hear. Rebbe, I'm afraid.
What are you afraid of? Did you forget your wedding oration?
Oh, no, I remember it.
Then what frightens you so?
No. From the moment we left home, I have been seized with terror. Everything we passed on the road was so unfamiliar to me. I've never seen so many strangers. Every time one of them looks at me, I become panic-stricken. I'm terrified of their eyes. Rebbe, nothing frightens me more than looking into the eyes of strangers.
I will charm away the evil eye.
All I want is to be left alone, to hide somewhere in the corner. And here, strangers surround me on all sides. I have to talk to them, answer their questions. I feel as if I'm being led to the gallows. And Rebbe, most of all, I'm afraid of her, the maiden.
Come, pull yourself together and overcome your fears. Otherwise you might forget your wedding speech. God forbid. Let's go into the inn so that you can go over it once again.
Rebbe, what's that? A grave in the street.
The poor people's feast is over, as if it never took place.
They promised to give us each a plate of soup, but didn't.
The white bread was sliced too thin.
Such a rich man could easily have given each of us a whole roll.
And why didn't we get chicken? You can be sure that the rich guests will be getting chicken and goose and stuffed turkey.
Oh, it doesn't matter. After we die, the worms will get it all anyway.
Where's Leia? Where's Freda? Why haven't they returned from the cemetery yet? Has something happened to them, God forbid?
We'll go and meet them.
Hurry. Hurry, my child. We're very late. Oh, why did I listen to you? Now I fear that something dreadful will happen, God forbid.
There they are. What kept you so long?
Bring the bride in to light the candles.
She fell into a faint. It was all I could do to revive her. I'm still shaking.
Well, she's fasting, and that makes her weak.
Did she cry long at her mother's grave?
Don't ask what happened. You're better off not knowing. I'm still trembling.
You are not my bridegroom!
My daughter. My dear daughter, what is it?
Holy bride and groom, protect me! Save me! You have buried me, but I have returned to my promised bride and will not leave her. Murderer!
She's mad.
A Dybbuk has entered the body of the bride.
Two days later, Mirapolia, in a large room at the home of Reb Azrielka, the Zadik. Saturday night, not long after evening prayers, Chassidim in the room. The messenger sits near the Holy Ark, surrounded by a group of Chassidim.
The stranger tells the most amazing wonder tales. They're really shocking. I'm afraid to listen to them.
What do you mean?
Well, they're full of subtle, almost incomprehensible allusions. I'm not sure, but I think they're the mystic teachings of Reb Naaman of Bratslav.
The older Hasidim are listening to him, so there's probably nothing to worry about.
Tell us another tale.
Oh, it's late. There's no time.
Don't worry, the Rebbe won't come out for a while.
Ooh. At one end of the world stands a high mountain. And on the mountain there is a large rock from which a clear spring flows. And the heart of the world is found at the other end of the world. Everything in the world has a heart, and the world itself has one very large heart. And the heart of the world gazes continuously at the clear stream, never tiring of the sight. And though it never ceases thirsting for the stream and is drawn to it with the greatest longing and desire, it cannot come close. For as soon as the heart of the world moves, it loses sight of the clear stream of the mountaintop. And if the heart of the world does not see the stream for even a moment, it dies. And at that instant, the world begins to die too. And the clear stream has no lifetime of its own, but lives on the time given to it by the heart of the world. And the heart gives it only one day. And when the day comes to an end, the clear stream sings to the heart of the world, and the heart of the world answers the clear stream with a song, and their singing spreads over all the world, and shining threads flow out of the songs and spread to the hearts of every living thing and connect one heart with the other. And one just man, who is favored of God, wanders through the world and gathers the shining threads from the hearts of all living beings and weaves them into time. And when he has woven a full day of time, he gives it to the heart of the world, and the heart of the world gives it to the clear stream. And so it lives another day.
The Rebbe is coming.
This is the feast of King David, the Messiah.
Amen.
It is told about the Baal Shem, may his merits preserve us. Once some German acrobats came to Mesbiges to perform in the streets. They stretched a rope across the river, and one of them balanced himself on it and walked to the other side. People came running from all over town to see this wonderful feat. Even the holy Baal Shem Tov stood with the crowd and watched the man walk on the rope across the river. His students, surprised to see him there, asked why he had come to see this trick, and he answered them as follows. I came here to observe how a person crosses a deep abyss. And as I watched, I thought if a person were to put as much effort into developing his soul as he does into training his body, how many and what deep abysses would his soul be able to traverse on the slender thread of life?
Oh, marvelous.
Unmatched, sublime.
There is a stranger here.
He's a messenger, apparently a student of Kabbalah.
What message does he bring us?
I don't know. Shall I send him away?
No, of course not. We must receive strangers with honor. Offer him a seat. God's world is holy and great. The holiest land in the world is Israel. The holiest city in Israel is Jerusalem. The holiest place in Jerusalem was the temple, and the holiest spot in the temple was the Holy of Holies. There are 70 nations in the world, and among them the people of Israel is the holiest, and the tribe of Levi is the holiest of the 12 tribes of Israel, and among the Levites the holiest are the priests. And among the priests the holiest is the high priest. There are 354 days in the year, and among them the holy days are sacred, and the Sabbath is holier than the holy days. And the holiest of all the holy days, the Sabbath of Sabbaths, is Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement. There are 70 languages in the world, and the holiest among them is Hebrew, and the holiest work in the Hebrew language is the Torah, and its holiest part is the 10 Commandments, and the holiest word in the 10 Commandments is the name of God. Once a year, on Yom Kippur, the 4 holiest sanctities gather together precisely when the high priest enters the Holy of Holies in order to pronounce the ineffable name of God. And at this immeasurably holy and awesome moment, the high priest and the people of Israel are in the utmost peril. For even a single sinful or wayward thought in the high priest's mind at that instant might, God forbid, destroy the entire world. Every piece of ground on which a person stands when he raises his eyes to heaven is a holy of holies. Everyone created in the image of God is a high priest. Every day in a person's life is Yom Kippur, and every word which a person speaks from his heart is God's name. Therefore, every sin and every wrong committed by man brings the world to destruction. After suffering great pain and enduring many incarnations, human souls, like infants hungering for the mother's breast, are drawn to their source, to the heavenly throne of glory. But sometimes, after a soul has finally achieved the highest level of purity, is suddenly beset by evil forces. God forbid it stumbles and falls, and the higher it has soared, the deeper it plunges. And when such a soul falls, a world is destroyed, and the spheres grow dark, and all 10 spheres, the emanations of God, mourn the loss. My children, today we will cut short our farewell feast to the Sabbath.
Rebbe, a sender of Brynitz is here.
Sender of Brynitz, I know.
A terrible misfortune has befallen him. His daughter has been possessed by a Dybbuk. May heaven preserve us.
Possessed by a Dybbuk, I know.
He has brought her to you.
To me? To me? How could he have come to me when the me in me is no longer here?
Rebbe, everyone in the world comes to you.
Everyone in the world, a blind sheep following a blind shepherd. It is only because they are blind that they come to me. If they weren't blind, they would go to him who alone can say I to the only I in the world.
Rebbe, you are his deputy.
The world says I am, but I don't know for sure. For 40 years I have occupied the position of Rebbe, yet to this very day I am still not sure that I can speak for God. May his name be blessed. There are times when I feel the Almighty very close to me, and then I have no doubts. At such times I feel strong and I can influence the higher spheres, but there are times when I lose my confidence, when I am as small and as weak as an infant. Then I need help myself.
Rebbe, I remember the time you came to me at midnight and asked me to recite psalms with you. We spent the night reading psalms and weeping.
Oh, that was in the past. Now it's even harder for me. What do they want from me? I'm old and weak. My body needs rest. My soul thirsts for solitude. Yet they come to me with all their pains and sorrows. They appeal to me for help, and every plea pierces my heart like a needle. I haven't the strength. I'm no longer able
Rebbe,
I can't go on. I can't.
Rebbe, you must not forget that you are the last in a long line of holy men and tzaddikim. Your father, Rebbe Itzhela, of blessed memory, your grandfather, the renowned scholar, the great Reb Relvele, a disciple of the Baal Shem Tov.
My ancestors, my saintly father to whom the prophet Elijah appeared 3 times, my uncle Reb Meir Ber, who ascended to heaven during his prayers, my grandfather, the great Reb Velvele, who could revive the dead. Do you know, Michael, that my grandfather, the great Reb Velvele, used to exorcise a dibuk without using spells or incantations? He simply raised his voice and gave one piercing scream. In my hour of need, I turn to him, and he supports me. He won't abandon me now. Call Senda.
Rebbe, have mercy. Help me. Save my only daughter.
How did this calamity occur?
When the veil was being placed over the bride's face, just...
No, that's not what I'm asking. What I want to know is why this misfortune struck you. A worm can only bore its way into fruit that has already begun to rot.
Rebbe, my only child is a good and God-fearing Jewish daughter. She's modest and obeys me in everything.
Children are sometimes punished for the sins of their parents.
If I knew of any sin I had committed, I would do penance.
Has the Dibuk been asked who he is and why he has taken possession of your daughter?
He doesn't answer, but we recognize the voice as that of a student from our yeshiva who died suddenly in the synagogue several months ago. He dabbled in Kabbalah and came to harm.
By what powers?
They claim it was evil spirits. A few hours before he died, he confided to a fellow student that there is no need to fight sin, and that there is a spark of holiness in Satan. May the merciful God preserve us. He even said that he would use sorcery to conjure up 2 barrels of gold.
Did you know him personally?
Yes, he ate at my house regularly.
Did you perhaps cause him grief in some way? Did you insult him? Think. Try to remember.
I don't know. I can't remember. Rabbi, I'm only human.
Bring the young woman in.
Go on. Go in. Layla, go in, my sweet dove.
I want to come in, but I can't.
Young woman, I order you to come in. Sit down.
Let me be! I don't want to!
Dibuk, I command you to tell who you are.
Rebbe of Mirapolier, you know very well who I am, but I don't want to reveal my name in front of the others.
I'm not asking for your name, I'm asking who you are.
I am one of those who sought other ways.
Those who seek other ways have wandered from the straight path.
It is too narrow.
The same thing was said by one who never returned. Why did you possess this maiden?
Because I am her intended.
Our holy Torah teaches that the dead are forbidden to be in the vicinity of the living.
I am not dead.
You have departed this world, not to return until the great ram's horn is sounded at the end of days. Therefore, so that a living branch of the eternal tree of Israel will not wither and die, I command you to leave the body of this maiden.
Rebbe of Mirapolier, I know how strong and mighty you are. I know that you can order angels and seraphim to do your will. But you cannot impose your will on me. I have no place to go. All roads are closed to me, and all paths are blocked. Evil spirits lie in wait everywhere, ready to consume me. There is heaven, and there is an earth, and there are worlds upon worlds in the universe. But nowhere is there a place for me. And now that my anguished and hurried soul has found a haven, you want to drive me away. Have pity on me. Don't hound me out. Don't chase me out.
Wandering soul, I cannot help but feel deep pity for you, and will do everything in my power to release you from the angels of destruction. But you must leave the body of this maiden.
I will not leave.
Michael, summon 10 men from the synagogue. Gentlemen, do you give me permission in your name and with your authority to exorcise an evil spirit who is unwilling to leave the body of a Jewish maiden?
Rabbi, we give you permission.
Dibuk, soul of one who has departed from our world, in the name and with the authority of this holy congregation of Jews, I, Azriel, son of Hadas, command you to leave the body of the maiden Leah, the daughter of Hannah, without harming her or any other living creature. If you do not obey my command, I will cover you with curses and maledictions, with conjurations and oaths, with all the power of my outstretched arm. But if you obey my command, I will use all my power to reclaim your soul and drive away the spirits of evil and destruction that surround you.
I am not afraid of your curses and threats, and I don't believe in your assurances. No power in the world can help me. There is no more exalted realm than my present haven. And there is no deeper abyss than the one that awaits me. I will not leave.
In the name of the Almighty God, I make my final petition and command you to leave the maiden's body. If you do not leave, you will be excommunicated and given over to the angels of destruction.
In the name of the Almighty God, I am joined to my intended forever, and will never leave her.
Michael, order white robes to be brought in for everyone. Bring 7 ram's horns and 7 black candles. After that, take 7 Torah scrolls out of the Holy Ark.
There is one robe too many. Is someone missing in the room?
To excommunicate a Jewish soul, one must first obtain the permission of the chief rabbi. Michael, put away the ram's horns, the candles, and the robes for the time being. Take my staff and go to Reb Shimshon. Tell him in my name that he must come here immediately. You may leave for now. Sender, where are the groom and his parents?
They remained in my house in Brnitz for the Sabbath.
Send a rider to tell them in my name that they must remain there to await my orders.
I will send a rider immediately.
In the meantime, you may leave. Take the maiden into the other room.
Grandma, I'm afraid. What will they do to him? What will they do to me?
Don't be afraid, my child. The Rebbe knows what he's doing. He won't harm you. He would never hurt anyone.
Even if it has been otherwise decreed in the higher spheres, I will reverse the decree.
May you have a good week, Rebbe.
A good week and a good year, Rabbi. Be seated. I have put you to this trouble because of a very important matter. A Dybbuk has possessed a Jewish maiden, heaven preserve us, and he refuses to leave her body. Only one thing remains to be done, and that is to drive him out through banishment and ostracism. I therefore ask your consent for this, and you will have earned the merit of saving a soul.
To pronounce a ban upon the living is difficult enough. How much more so on the dead? But because nothing else is left to be done, and because so godly a man as you finds this remedy necessary, I give my consent. But first, Rebbe, I must reveal a secret to you that has some bearing on this matter.
Please do.
Rebbe, do you remember a young Chassid by the name of Nissen ben Rivka, a student of Kabbalah? He used to come from Brnitz to visit you regularly, about 20 years ago?
Yes. He left for distant parts and died there.
Well, the same Nissen ben Rivka appeared 3 times in my dreams last night and demanded that I summon Sender of Brnitz to a rabbinical court in his name.
What is his claim against Sender?
He didn't tell me. He only said that Sender caused him the most grievous harm.
You know that when a Jew has a claim against someone and demands a trial, the rabbi must not refuse. This is even more true in the case of a dead person who can petition the heavenly tribunal itself. But what has that to do with the Dybbuk?
It has a very real connection. I've heard that the young man who died and entered the body of Sender's daughter was Nissen's son. They speak of a certain promise which Sender made to Nissen and never fulfilled.
In that case, I will postpone the exorcism of the Dybbuk until tomorrow noon. Tomorrow, right after the morning prayers, God willing, you will summon the deceased and we will cast your dream in a proper light. After that, with your permission, I will drive out the Dybbuk by excommunicating him.
Inasmuch as a trial between a living person and one who is deceased is very unusual and difficult, I hope that you, Rebbe, will agree to be the presiding judge.
I
conduct
agree.
the trial.
I agree. Michael, ask them to bring in the maiden. Dybbuk, I am giving you exactly 1 day. If by tomorrow noon you haven't left of your own free will, I will, with the permission of the rabbi of this town, banish you by force through the agonizing means of the cherem. Now you can take the maiden out. Sender, you remain here. Sender, do you remember your old friend Nissen ben Rivka?
Nissen ben Rivka? But he died.
Do you know that last night he appeared 3 times in the chief rabbi's dreams? He demanded that you be summoned to a trial to answer his charges against you.
Me summoned to a trial? Oh, my God. Well, what can he want from me? What shall I do, Rebbe?
I don't know what the charge is, but you must accept the summons.
Well, I will do as you say.
Send the swiftest horse and rider to inform the bridegroom and his parents to be here by noon tomorrow. Let the wedding ceremony take place immediately after the Dybbuk has been exorcised.
Rebbe, what if they have second thoughts about the marriage and refuse to come?
Tell them that the orders are from me and make sure that the groom is here on time.
The groom will be here on time.
The same room, half a day later. Reb Ezriel, wearing a prayer shawl and phylacteries, sits at the head of the table, and 2 rabbinical judges sit on either side. Reb Shimshon stands near the table, Mikhail a little farther off.
good dream. I've seen a good dream. I have seen a good dream.
You have seen a good dream. Good it is, and good may it be.
Rebbe, now that you have been assured a positive outcome of your dream, come and sit with us as a rabbinical judge. We will send for the deceased to present himself at the trial. First, however, I will mark off an area beyond which he may not cross. Miguel, hand me my cane. Miguel, take my cane and go to the cemetery. Once you get there, close your eyes and holding the cane before you, start walking. Stop at the first grave the cane touches. Knock on the grave 3 times and say, "Righteous deceased, Asriel, the son of the renowned and saintly Reb Ishele Miropolai, apologizes for disturbing your rest and enjoins you to inform the righteous deceased, Nissen, the son of Rivka, through ways you know best, that the rabbinical court of Miropolye summons him to appear immediately, wearing the garments in which he was buried. Repeat this 3 times, and then leave. And no matter how loud the shrieks, the wails, or the screams behind you, do not turn around, and never let my cane leave your hand for even 1 moment, or you will be in mortal danger. Go. God will protect you, for he watches over everyone who is sent on a mission of righteousness. Before you leave, send in 2 people to set up a partition for the deceased. Ask Sender to come in. Sender, did you carry out my orders? Have you sent for the bridegroom and his parents?
I dispatched the fastest horses, but the groom's party has not yet arrived.
Send another messenger to tell them to ride faster.
I will do so.
Sender, we have sent a message to the righteous deceased, Nissen ben Rivka, informing him that he has been summoned to a trial by this court. Will you accept the verdict we reach?
I will.
You will carry out our directives?
I will.
Step back and stand to the right.
Rebbe, now I remember. Nissen ben Rivka is probably bringing a suit against me in court because of a pledge which we made each other. But I'm not guilty in this matter.
You will have a chance to explain everything after the deceased makes the nature of his claim known to us. Soon a person from the true world will appear before us, so that our tribunal can render a judgment in a claim he has against a person from our world of illusion. This proves that the laws of the Holy Torah rule all worlds and all persons, and that they are obligatory for everyone, the dead as well as the living. A trial such as this is difficult and awesome, and everyone is watching it. If, God forbid, the court deviates by even 1 hair's breadth from the law, protests will be heard from the heavenly tribunal itself. Therefore, we must approach this trial with fear and trembling. Fear and trembling.
I think he has come.
He has come, I believe.
He is here. Righteous deceased Nissen ben Rivka, the court has decreed that you may not step out of the circle or beyond the partition which has been set up for you. Nissen ben Rivka, the court invites you to tell what claims and grievances you have against Sender ben Henya.
I think he's answering.
I believe he is answering.
I hear a voice, but I don't hear any words.
I hear words, but I don't hear a voice.
Sender Ben Henia, the righteous deceased, Nissen ben Rivka, states in his claim that in your youth you studied at the same yeshiva and that your souls were bound in loyal friendship. You both married in the same week. Not long after, when you saw each other at the Rebbe's during the High Holy Days, you pledged that if your wives became pregnant and one gave birth to a boy and the other to a girl, the two would marry when the time came.
Yes, that is true.
The righteous deceased, Nissen ben Rivka, further states that he later moved to a distant town where his wife gave birth to a son at the same time that your wife gave birth to a daughter. Not long after this, he died. It became known to him in the true world that his son was blessed with an exalted soul and rose to ever more lofty heights, and his father's heart was filled with joy and pride. And when his son was grown, he saw him wander throughout the world, going from place to place, from town to town, searching for the one to whom his soul was drawn, to his intended bride. And when he came to the town in which you live, Sender, he became one of your household and ate at your table. And his soul was drawn to the soul of your daughter. But you were rich, and Nissen's son was poor. So you turned from him and sought a match from among the richer families. And Nissen saw how his son grew despondent, and how he roamed the world over to seek new ways, and his father's heart was filled with worry and sorrow. And when the powers of darkness marked the young man's despair, they spread a net for him and caught him, removed him from the world before his time. And his homeless soul drifted from place to place until it entered the body of his intended bride as a dibbuk. Nissen ben Rivka states that with his son's death, he has been cut off from both worlds. Nothing remains of him, neither name nor memory. There's no one to succeed him and no one to recite the Kaddish on the anniversary of his death. His light has been extinguished forever. The crown of his head has plunged into an abyss. He therefore asks that the court sentence Sender according to the laws of the Holy Torah for spilling the blood of Nissen's son and cutting off the family line forever.
Sender ben Henia, you have heard the claims brought against you by the righteous deceased Nissen ben Rivka. What do you say in your defense?
I cannot speak. I have nothing to say in my own defense. But I beg my old friend to forgive me. For it was not with evil intent that I sinned. Nissen left soon after we made our pledge, and I never knew that his wife gave birth to a child and that he had a son. I found out that he had died, but I never heard anything further about his family. With the passage of time, I simply forgot.
Why did you not make inquiries and investigate the matter?
Well, the usual way is for the groom's side to make the first step. So I thought that if a son had been born to Nissen, he would have informed me.
Nissen ben Rivka asks why you never questioned his son about himself and his family during any of the many times he was at your house and ate at your table.
I don't know. I can't remember. But I swear that I was always drawn to him as a son-in-law. This made me set such difficult terms whenever a match was proposed that the parents would find it impossible to agree. 3 matches broke up this way. But this time, the family agreed to everything.
Nissen ben Rivka says that deep in your heart, you recognized his son and were therefore afraid to ask about his family. You wanted someone who could give your daughter a rich and comfortable life, and for this you were willing to discard his son.
The court has heard both sides and has come to the following verdict. Whereas it is not known for certain if their wives had already conceived at the time that Nissen ben Rivka and Sinden ben Henya made their pledge, and whereas our Holy Torah teaches that an agreement pertaining to something not yet created is not binding, we cannot conclude that Sender had an obligation to fulfill the pledge. However, since the pledge was accepted in the higher realms, and the thought that Sender ben Henya's daughter was his intended bride had been planted into the heart of Nissen ben Rivka's son, and since Sender's consequent actions led to great tribulation for Nissen ben Rivka and his son, the court rules that Sender give half of his fortune to the poor, and imposes upon him the lifelong duty of reciting the mourner's Kaddish for Nissen ben Rivka and his son, just as if they were his own relations. The court appeals to the righteous deceased Nissen ben Rivka to forgive Sender fully. And it further bids him to order his son, with all the power of his parental authority, to leave the body of the maiden Leah, the daughter of Hannah, so that a branch of the fruitful tree of Israel will not wither. And may the Almighty shine his grace on Nissen ben Rivka and his wandering son as a reward.
Amen.
Amen.
Righteous deceased, Nissen ben Rivka, have you heard our judgment? And do you accept the verdict? Sender ben Henya, have you heard our judgment, and do you accept the verdict?
Yes, I accept.
Righteous deceased, Nissen ben Rivka, the trial between you and Sender ben Henya is over. Now you must return to your eternal resting place. We enjoin you not to harm any person or other living creature on your way. Michael, order the curtain to be taken down and water to be brought in. Sender, have the groom and his parents arrived?
I haven't heard the sound of an approaching coach.
Send another rider to intercept them and to tell them to drive the horses at full speed. Order the wedding canopy to be set up and call the musicians. Instruct the bride to put on her wedding gown so that the marriage ceremony can take place as soon as the Dibuk leaves her body. See that everything is ready.
Did you note that the deceased did not forgive Sender?
We noted it.
Did you note that the deceased did not accept the verdict?
We noted it.
Did you note that he did not respond Amen to Reb Asriel's words?
We noted
it.
It is a very bad omen.
It is indeed a bad omen.
See how agitated Reb Asriel is? His hands are trembling. We have finished. No. We can leave.
Rabbi, stay here until the Dibuk is out. I would like you to perform the wedding ceremony. Master of the universe, thy ways are wondrous and beyond scrutiny, but I know that the path on which I tread is illuminated by the glowing flame of thy holy will, and I will not turn aside from it, neither to the left nor to the right. Have you seen to all the preparations?
Yes, Rebbe.
Call in the maiden. Dibuk, in the name of the chief rabbi who is here beside me, in the name of the holy congregation of Jews, in the name of the great Sanhedrin of Jerusalem, I, Asriel, the son of Hadas, order you for the last time to leave the body of the maiden Leah, the daughter of Hannah.
I will not leave.
Michael, call in the men and bring the white robes, the ram's horns, and the black candles. Unyielding spirit, Since you will not submit to our rule, I deliver you to the authority of the higher spirits, who will expel you by force. Blow the ram's horn.
Don't force me out. I don't want to leave. I cannot give up my place.
Since the higher spirits cannot control you, I now deliver you into the hands of the middle spirits, who are neither good nor evil. They have harsher ways to force you out. Blow the ram's horn.
What shall I do? All the powers in the world have risen up against me. I am torn by the most vicious and merciless spirits, the souls of the great and the righteous. My father's soul among them have ordered me to leave the maiden's body. But as long as I have even an ounce of strength, I will resist the forces that want to expel me.
A powerful force must be helping him. Michael, have the Torah scrolls returned to the ark. Light a black candle. Everyone put on your white robes. Rise up, O Lord! Let your enemies fly from you and be dispersed. Let them dissolve in the air like smoke. Sinful and rebellious spirit, with the power of the Almighty God and with the authority of the Holy Torah, I, Azriel, the son of Hadas, sever all the threads that bind you to the world of the living and to the body and soul of the maiden Leah, the daughter of Hannah.
I'm lost.
I banish and cut you off from the community of Israel. Blow the ram's horns.
The final spark has dissolved in the flame.
I have no more strength to resist.
Do you submit?
I submit.
Do you swear to leave the body of the maiden Leah, the daughter of Hannah, and promise never to return?
I promise.
By the same authority that empowered me to excommunicate you, I hereby revoke your excommunication. Put out the candles and take down the black curtain from the holy ark. Put away the ram's horns. Tell the men you assembled to remove their white robes and send them home. Lord of the universe, gracious and compassionate God, behold the great misery of this homeless and tortured soul who has fallen because of the sins and misdeeds of others. Turn thy gaze from his faults and permit his past good deeds and his deep affection, together with the merits of his ancestors, to rise up to you like a vapor. Lord of the universe, remove every destructive spirit from his path and provide a place of eternal rest for him in your heavenly abode. Amen.
Amen.
Recite the mourner's Kaddish for me. My time has come.
Sender, you, say the Kaddish.
Yiskadal v'yiskadashamei Rabbo. May his great name be magnified and sanctified throughout the world which he has created according to our will.
Lead the bride to the bridal canopy.
The second rider has just returned. He says that one of the carriage wheels broke and the groom and his family are continuing on foot, but they're very close. See, there on the hill, they're coming.
Let destiny take its course. Leave the old woman here with the bride, and we will go out to greet the groom.
Who is here with me? Grandma? Is that you, Grandma? Grandma, my heart is so heavy. Will you rock me to sleep?
Don't be sad, child. Let the wicked despair and the black cat weep with rue. But your sweet heart should be as light as a feather, as air as breath, buoyant as a snowflake, so that the holy cherubim can waft you on their wings.
Do you hear? They're about to dance around the holy grave to give the dead bride and groom a part in my wedding.
Don't tremble so, child. Don't be afraid. Strong and mighty guardians are watching over you. 60 giants have their swords drawn to keep you from harm, and your holy patriarchs and matriarchs will protect you from the evil eye. Soon you will enter the bridal bower. We pray it will be a favorable hour, your pious mother in paradise was told. In paradise was told. And she has on her finest gown, her garment of pure gold. 2 cherubim meet her on the way. Meet her on the way. Hanala, our love, they say. Oh, Hanala, our dove. In your gown of golden cloth, you look so very fine. My joy is great, she says. That's why I want to shine. My only child, my jewel, my crown, is ready in her wedding gown to tie the nuptial knot. But Hanala, our love, they say, oh, Hanala, our dove, why is your face so sad and wan? Is suffering your lot? My heart aches so, the pain is great. I grieve at my cruel fate, for I must stand far from her side when down the aisle they march the bride. My precious pearl, my daughter dear, nor will I be with her to hear Elijah bless the wine, and then the congregation say, Amen.
Who is here, sighing so sadly?
It is I.
I hear your voice, but I don't see you.
You are set apart from me by a spellbound circle.
Your voice is as sweet to me as that of a violin on a silent night. Tell me who you are.
I have forgotten. It is only through your thoughts that I can remember who I am.
It's coming back to me now. My heart was drawn to a bright star. In the deep of night, I shed sweet tears, and someone always appeared in my dreams. Was it you?
Yes.
I remember. Your hair was as soft as teardrops, and your eyes were mild and sad. You had long, slender fingers. Day and night I thought only of you. But you left me, and my light faded. My soul withered. I was like a lonely widow. Then you returned, and my heart blossomed again. My death turned to life.
my sorrow to joy. Why did you forsake me once again?
I broke every barrier, surmounted death, reversed the law of the ages. I struggled with the strong and wrestled with the mighty and the pitiless. And when my strength finally failed me, I left your body to enter your soul.
Return to me, my bridegroom, my husband. I will carry you in my heart, and in the still of the night you will come to me in my dreams, and together we will rock our unborn babies to sleep. We'll sew little shirts for them and sing them sweet songs. Hush-a-bye, my babies, without clothes, without a bed, unborn children, never mind, lost forever, lost in time. They're about to lead me to the wedding canopy to marry a stranger. Come to me, my bridegroom.
I have departed from your body. I am coming to your soul.
The circle is broken. I see you, my bridegroom. Come to me.
Come to me.
I'm coming to you.
I am coming to you.
Lead the bride to the wedding canopy.
I am enveloped in a blaze of light. My bridegroom, my destined one. I am united with you for all eternity. Together, we will soar higher and higher, ever higher.
We are too late.
Blessed is the true judge. Why, oh, why did the soul plunge from the utmost heights to the lowest depths? The seed of redemption is contained within the fall.